Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we're going to have a little fun today. We are with Julie Schanke Lyford and her dad, Bob Schanke. How are you both?
Good. Thanks for
Very
having
good.
us.
Very good.
Here we are during Pride season. You guys are in the Midwest, Iowa and Minneapolis area. You guys are celebrating Pride this weekend, yeah?
Yeah, very excited. They had to put it off because of all the COVID stuff, but they pushed it out to July just to be safe.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have about half the amount of things, but there's still going to be, live music and shows and booths. And one of my best friends is flying in from Nebraska. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I love it. But no, they're bringing you both together here. Julie, you wrote a book, Katy Has Two Grampas. And I even say a story about courage, family, love, and representation. I like that. But yeah, and that's, of course, why you have your dad here, who is one of the gay grandpas. And so, but yeah, just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Dad and I co-authored the book together. We thought about doing this story, for about 5 to 10 years. We talked about it off and on because there were no stories that showed my family. My children have gay grandpas. They've had gay grandpas their entire life. They don't know life without gay grandpas. We read every book, Tango Makes Three and King, and we read all those books growing up, but they didn't have our family unit. So we wanted something, and I got tired of complaining about it, and we decided to try to do something about it.
That's the best way.
Yeah, and this is based on a true story. And so Dad is an author and has written all kinds of other books, and we worked together to create a story. And then during COVID, when everyone was locked down and had nothing else to do, we decided to really push forward and got a hold of an illustrator who actually was living in Italy during the major COVID lockdown. She could only leave her house to walk her dog, so she had lots of time. And so it worked out really well as a project to do during COVID.
Yeah, I hear you. And because what's interesting is that we do see a lot of, especially even in the world of social media, hashtag two moms, hashtag gay dads. There's a lot out there for that. And I think over the last few years, I'm one of them. The whole world of guncles has kind of taken hold. And but yeah, it's there's just kind of been this gap out there. But Bob, have you seen that during over your years as well?
Well, yeah. In fact, when we first started working on the book, I never thought so much of the fact that, well, there is nothing about gay grandpas. Yeah. And the more we worked on it, the more I thought that we've got to be represented somehow. Yeah. And I know one critic has said that, that we don't need to do that much. We don't need to be represented. And I disagree. I mean, I think that's a whole part of what the book is about, is that we are represented. And it's not the story about us. It's a story about my granddaughter. Yeah. But we are in the book and we're not hiding the fact that we are gay. It's sort of like what I've told some other people. It's sort of like going back to the old don't ask, don't tell kind of idea that I will be gay, but I'm just not going to let anybody know about it to be safe. Well, I think we've gone beyond that in 2021, and we need to go beyond that. I think it's really important for us to be represented in some way.
Yeah. No, and I have a feeling that there's these organizations out there, I'm sure like SAGE and so forth, that would probably love to be able to work. I'm hopeful to work to find a way to be able to get this out to their membership and audience as well.
Sure. No, I think you're right. And we've tried a little bit, but unfortunately, some of them don't do advertising. Yeah. They don't do any kind of commercial sort of stuff like that. So we've been reaching out, and hopefully we will be able to break through some of those barriers.
Yeah. Are you guys promoting during Pride up there in Minnesota or Minneapolis?
Oh yeah, Julie, go ahead.
Actually, at this Pride Festival, I just wanted to go and have fun. I actually had hosted the first ever wedding tent at Pride years ago, and produced the first weddings at Pride. And so I was very, very involved with the Pride festivals for many years. But we haven't been able to go because of COVID and whatever. And we just didn't want a table. We wanted to just go have fun. Yeah. So next year, Giddy Up, we'll be there and all that. But this year was just more of a time to be relaxed. But we are reaching out to other things. I am Collage. Are you familiar with the group Collage?
Yeah.
They have a big event in P-Town every year, a big family gathering, and we're going to be doing a story hour there, and that kind of thing. So
Excellent.
we're doing a lot of reaching out. We even have a wonderful drag queen in England even read our story and shared it overseas. So we're reaching out all over the place.
Yeah, I could see that through not only the seniors things we were talking about, but yeah, Collage and so many of the parents organizations are prevalent. And we have a pretty good network on Twitter with both. And so we're going to make sure to promote and include this and have links to all of your, because you have some great video trailers and so forth.
Thank you. Those were fun. Those are fun.
I could tell.
Well, and that was one of the advantages of COVID is that we were forced to be creative, and so we probably shot a lot more video than we would have if we just had a launch party at Barnes and Noble or at somebody's backyard, so those videos were fun to shoot. And then, the outtakes were even more fun as we were making fun of Dad and Jack as they were doing things they weren't supposed to in the video and whatever. But thanks for noticing.
Well, and it's interesting that Julie is the one who's been really totally responsible for all of those things. And most often she hasn't told me about them in advance, and I get them on the computer. Oh my gosh, there's another one.
That's just it, though. It's interesting, and it's kind of a separate discussion, but I think it's also the reason we're together here is that things change. Things have been evolving for years as far as how we market or promote in the world of social and online. But I think the pandemic kind of accelerated a lot of that because we weren't able to go to Pride festivals. We weren't able to do so many in the real world things. And so many of us have kind of adapted to figuring out, like, how can I stay relevant in this virtual world? And it seems like you guys really kind of have been one of those organizations that stepped up for that as well.
Well, yes, in fact, Julie referred to it. I've written and published like 8 or 9 books dealing with gays and lesbians in American theater. They're all done by university presses. Some got awards, but we never did the things that we are doing now to promote our books.
Yeah.
And I think university presses have got to get with that sort of thing. Yeah. So you're right.
I think some are and some aren't, and that's the beauty of it. So that's the evolution.
Right.
Oh, this is great. And like I said, I really appreciate the fact that you're able to kind of take some moments out of your time and share a bit of your story about what you guys are up to. But when we promote this, we're going to make sure all the links are there. There's great networks online for both seniors and parents. And hopefully a few of them will be able to get excited about this and share it with their friends as well.
Well, that would be great.
And the thing that's touched us the most is some of the emails and photos we've gotten from people, grandparents, of them reading it with their grandchildren and them choking up. I mean, we didn't write it thinking that it was going to affect the adults as much as it has been. That's been very touching.
I love that. No, this is great. So again, I thank you both and look forward to being able to hopefully connect sometime in the real world.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, y'all.